These are my 5 Holy Grail palettes, and you will need nothing else but these. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have been wanting to talk about this topic for a while, and I thought it'd be fun to bring it to you today, talking about my 5 Holy Grail palettes in my collection, the palettes that I'm reaching for the most over basically everything in my collection. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, palette number 1. This is actually from Sugar Drizzle Polish. It is the Elements of Evil palette. Here is our gorgeous color story. I love this palette specifically for the shimmers. My eye look is actually pretty much only this palette and one other, which I will show you in a second. But the shimmers in this, the mattes are also really nice. I do have a review up for this palette on my channel, so definitely check that out if you are curious. I don't fully know if this one is still available. I will try to leave a link down below if it is. But I love, like I said, the shimmers in this cannot be beat. I really want Sugar Drizzle Polish to do another palette like this. It's so good. It has all of the colors that I need and or want. It literally is so good, and I always go back to it. It's such a good one. The next palette that I am featuring, you are not going to be surprised if you are not new to my channel. I have been loving this palette, and this was actually the first palette from the brand that I have ever tried out, and I love everything they come out with. So, surprise, surprise, it is the Nightshade palette from Gourmand Girls. This is in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny, and this color story, I mean, it just cannot be beat. It's just so good. It's so different. I think just palettes in general, I've not seen another palette with a similar color story to this. I feel like it's amazing that you can really transform this between doing some spring looks, which hopefully I'll be doing soon. You could definitely, of course, fall looks. I believe this came out in summer, so I think it's just a really good palette if you want to switch between the seasons and do some more fun makeup. And if you have not tried out Gourmand Girls, their shimmer formula is also so freaking impeccable. Their mattes, their shimmers, definitely some of my favorites. Definitely check this palette out if you have not. I think this is probably their top palette. It is one of the best. Next up, I'm actually pulling 2 palettes, but we are going to consider this one because it is from the same collection. So these are both from Glamlight, the Scooby-Doo collection. Now, unfortunately, both of these are discontinued. Hopefully, there are some links on like eBay and stuff, or some of the other sites that sell used makeup if you feel comfortable doing that. I just think these are such staple palettes that really, in my opinion, Glamlight really needs to bring back. This is the tried and true good formula from Glamlight that, unfortunately, I don't feel like their more recent launches have. Literally, both of these are just a beautiful row of mattes with corresponding shimmers. And I just love the depth that these shimmers have, the brightness. This one here, the Retro Raggy palette, is probably my favorite, especially for this one shade here, the super dark green. I've never seen a dark green this stunning. I hope you can see. Let me do a little swatch. It's so sparkly and so deep and just delicious. So Glamlight, not that they're watching, but they need to bring these back. If you have these in your collection, consider yourself lucky. Like I said, I am sure that there definitely are sites out there that do sell used makeup. My personal opinion, I don't think used makeup is bad. Spray it down with a little rubbing alcohol and you should be good to go. But of course, use your best judgment if you don't want to do that. But these are such a keeper for me. These will forever be in my collection, and I just love them so much. They are my babies. This next palette is probably gonna feel kind of random, but let me explain. Whenever I want to do a pink look, this is the palette that shoots into my brain automatically. And this palette is just so good. I think the mattes are great, the shimmers are great. Such an impeccable palette. So this is actually Beauty Moon Cosmetics in collaboration with Ice Cream Beauty Box. Came out with the Hope in Bloom palette. Here is our color story. And I feel like this seems, I'm gonna actually say, such a simple palette. In a way, I appreciate simple palettes because they're easy to build a look, but but you have different variations of pinks in here, which I love. You have some deeper shades. You have like this brown shade if you kind of want to do a more neutral look, but you also just have such variations of shimmers here. We'll do it like that are just so gorgeous. They're so shiny. If you have not tried Beauty Moon Cosmetics, try them. Their shimmers, in my opinion, are so good, especially for the price point. Beauty Moon Cosmetics is super affordable, and one thing I really love about the brand is they are really working on shipping prices and just trying to be the lowest that they possibly can be. They are a brand based in the UK, a very small indie brand, but I really do appreciate that they are doing that, especially as I mentioned before, with things happening in the US right now with crazy tariffs. But I think even other countries where, you know, it just is very expensive, like the one that comes to my mind is Australia. It just makes me happy that a brand like Beauty Moon Cosmetics is actually, like, in a way looking out for their customers and trying to do the best they can to make things more affordable. And especially, like I said, their prices are already really affordable. So if you have not checked them out, definitely check them out. I do have a code down in the description. My code is Rainbow. Use it or not. I'm not shouting them out just because I want you to use my code. I think it is a really good brand. It's the biggest thing that's like on my mind right now is I appreciate that they are trying to help people out, especially with shipping costs. So before I reveal to you my ultimate favorite current palette, which you might already know because I already featured it recently, but I do have a couple of honorable mentions. So we're going to go ahead and start off first by NBA Cosmetics with this is the Enchanted Echoes palette. The reason it is not in my top 5 is sadly I forget that I have this palette, and when I was looking through my drawer of eyeshadow palettes, I saw this one, pulled it out, and was like, oh my gosh, I want to put this in my top 5. Sorry, I've not shown you. Like I said, I forget that I have it all the time, which is such so embarrassing. But this is so gorgeous. And if you have not tried NBA Cosmetics, their shimmers cannot be beat. Can you tell that I love shimmers? Shimmers are like one of my favorite things. I love mattes, but I feel like most brands do really good mattes. Shimmers are, in my opinion, just like, if you want the key to my heart, give me some good shimmers. I love this so much. Just so gorgeous. If you have been on the fence about trying NBA Cosmetics, I would definitely check them out. Other honorable mention is going to be another from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. This is in collaboration with Piglet GC. This is the Gospel palette. I also have a review up on this, so definitely check out. I'll try to have a card and probably have it in the description as well. This palette is just so, for one, super colorful, which I absolutely love. If you watch my review, or I'll just kind of tell you a little bit, every single look I created with this palette was so beautiful and stunning, but was like different from my normal like realm of makeup that I do, and I really like that. I like that it gave me an opportunity to try something different and just really have fun with makeup. So I highly recommend this one. I'm not 100% sure if this is still available on their site. I hope that it is. I know they were discontinuing it. So if you are curious about this color story, go check it out. They probably might have it on sale if they still have it. I highly recommend this palette and also their highlighters if they still have those available. On a random note, I have all the highlighters from the collection. Some of my absolute favorite highlighters. There's a set of 6, and they are gorgeous. Gorgeous. Alright, and here we are for our number 1 spot. None of these technically were ranked, so like, I don't know why I'm saying number 1 spot, but this is the palette right now that I have been reaching for like every day. It is in my drawer that I have like right next to me with all of my staple products, and it is, I'm sure nobody is surprised, the Ellis Blend Bunny palette. This is just... it's massive, and I know not a lot of people like the fact that it's so massive, but I like that it literally has almost every single color you could ever need. Like I did mention in last week's video, it is missing a little bit of depth, but I think this is just such a good palette to get you a nice variety of shades if you do not have it, and all of these are so incredible quality. So if you want a solid rainbow palette besides their OG blends, like I think that one and this one, and you are set. so set on rainbow shades. This has a gorgeous row of shimmers down the center, which are basically toppers, but put over any of these shades, they transform. And I love that so much. Little glitter primer. You don't necessarily need a primer, but if you use one, it really elevates these shimmer shades. Just such a good palette. So good. Probably my top recommended out of this entire set. Alright, and that is going to be the end of today's video. Let me know down below what you think. I would love to know your top 5 palettes in your collection, or top 1, just anything. I absolutely love to hear from you. Do you agree with me on any of my selections? Definitely make sure to subscribe if you did enjoy this content. I would love to join me on the journey. I greatly appreciate it. Leave me a like and comment. Those things help me out so much, and I just love to hear from you. I hope you are having a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Okay, bye!